Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to finish up this week, this non-English vocals week, with a band that I picked just because the name sounds cool. Seriously. So the band is DRØM, I believe. DRØM. There's a really harsh trilled R there. I probably can't pronounce very well at all. The song, I really don't want to try, but I believe it's Siste Steget Ut. And, yeah, I don't know, like I said, I just picked it because the name is cool. And I want to see what kind of music a band with this name would make. So, that's where we are today. Let's check this one out, see what's going on. Yeah, a very whimsical 4/4. Yeah. Really getting a lot out of these eighth notes. Changing the width and the compression, the attack on this main line at the bottom of everything.
Kan du ikke se alt vil en dag forsvinne? Hold deg foran øyen mens du slipper taket. Siste steget ut nå før du lar deg falle.
Ooh, what? Got a bit like a funky jazz vibe. That really strong finger plucked bass. We got the cross stick going on the snare. Real light and chill cymbal work. The snare is accenting 2 of the first beat and 1 and 3 of the second, giving it this disjointed weight towards the end, giving it a bit of drive out of the 2-bar phrase. Which is real important, having only 3 accented notes in 2 bars. Gives a little bit of direction and drive while keeping the laid-back feel that the atmosphere is delivering on. Yeah. Whoa. So they're keeping this laid back energy while still driving a bit more with the atmosphere and the drums. And I don't know if they widen the sound, but doubling up on the vocals definitely makes this aspect sound bigger than the previous.
Så lar vi oss falle. Tiden får du ej tillbaka.
Interesting final notes on both of those sentences.
Hva du redd for? Ta mi hånd så slipper vi taket. Så lar vi oss falle. Tiden får du ej tillbaka.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome surprises, man. Man. So we have this electronica pop song that's put together from a jazz, well, not from a jazz, but it's put together with jazz influences. And it's interesting to see this merger of these jazz ideas coming together with the ideas of modern pop writing. I don't know when this came out. I don't know how modern we're looking at. 2017. So yeah, relatively new. Really utilizing some of the new wave ideas of writing music through production, heavily through production. I say new, I don't mean just like in the last 5 to 10 years. I mean relatively new in the breadth of music creation. There's this ability that we have today to write music that can't be written easily on paper. It's very difficult to write some of the sheet music because a lot of the musical elements come from the engineering, from the production side. So we could write, harmony lines, but that doesn't really tell what's happening when you're panning these two vocal tracks, like what was happening here. The panning's a production element that changes the way the song feels and sounds. And I want to bring this up because there's a lot of really cool elements in here that exist through production. I don't want to say because of production, because I guarantee we could probably do these in a live setting with digital instruments, but I would wager at least that they were done through production here. And one of them I think was really interesting was the opening 8th note run that we saw in the synth. And it went for ever, 2-3 minutes, at least half the song. I think that line was there. But there was these minor changes to it that introduced elements. Well, it changed the way that the sound sounded. Maybe it widened it up. Maybe it thinned it out. Maybe it kind of, dropped the high end or the low end, made it brighter or darker. Volume manipulation on it. Just a bunch of different ways of altering the dynamics of the sound without changing the actual notes. And it made the intro sound more interesting than if we had just played those notes verbatim over and over for 3 minutes. And it's one of those ways that we can really extract a lot out of a little. Going for that, excelling in minimalism, utilizing a single line and really pushing it to the extremes and seeing how much you could squeeze out of it before it gets old or tiring or something like that. So I think they did that with very great results. I think that went over pretty phenomenally. The other thing that really stood out to me, and I think I kind of wore these emotions on my shoulder, on my sleeve, so to speak, is the way that they turned a rather standard atmospheric element or electronica track on its head and brought in this really nice jazz element as far as instrumentation and composition go. They didn't bring in the solos and stuff like that, but it really took the rug out from under me, and I appreciate that. They showed no inkling of any intention of doing this. It really came out of nowhere, and the surprise was quite welcome. I really enjoyed having that like jazz influence throughout the entire song. I really thought we were going to get that atmospheric part for the whole track, and instead that acted as more of a intro to what I would say is the meat of the song, which really digs into some really cool stuff musically, compositionally. It starts out with the very pop-like vocals against the walking bass line, and I mentioned the drums were just very smooth, jazzy. We got the nice cross stick going, which is more of a muted snare sound. And then we had the real nice, chill cymbals. And just creating this nice ambiance to the song rather than going hard into it with these these more harsh attacks and sounds from the drum kit. So yeah, that was quite the welcome surprise. After that section though, we went into the synth solo, maybe it was an organ or a keyboard of some sort, and we started to really ramp up some intensity here. The drums started going bass kicks on the downbeats, maybe it was snare hits on the downbeats, but we really got out of that like relaxed vibe with the drums accenting every couple of notes and just really having this nice muted, subdued atmosphere to the vocals. The drums kick it up, the guitars kick it up, we get this really crazy solo, some really nice ideas in there. I thought it was rather tasteful, kind of really fit my idea of what a good solo is. It did a fantastic job at storytelling and, painting a picture with the music. There was definitely a little bit of showing off there, but also some moments of, really letting the solo breathe a little bit, holding out some notes, putting in some gaps for space and stuff like that. And then in the end, we bring it all back together. We get some vocals in there, but then we retain all the drive and energy that we created for the solo section. And yeah, it's kind of interesting how much this song evolves. Like I said, I really expected it to be more of an electronica song through the whole time, and then we hit this nice jazz element, and then halfway through we're full into prog rock. So, yeah, that's really cool. The song as a whole just has this really nice vibe to it that works for me. I think the evolution from atmospheric to like that jazzy laid backness to the driving energy all works well. None of it really comes out of nowhere. They're all very harsh transitions, if I recall correctly, but none of it feels undeserving. Something in the writing either set it up or kind of foreshadowed a little bit of it before we got there. So none of it really felt out of place, even if they were stark contrasts between the sections. The only thing that really stood out to me as an interesting choice was in the last vocal melodies. It was the repeated line at the end as all the instruments started to get taken out one by one, and we were left with the vocals. The second to last word, or second to last note on each melody repetition really goes a bit flatter. I think it's like a half step under where I would have put it, and it provides a ton of tension that doesn't exactly get the resolution it needs when it lands on the final note of the line, and it provides a lot of, well, it provides a lack of resolution, to be honest. It just doesn't feel like there is finality to what's being said. And of course, I don't know the lyrics. It's in a language I don't understand, but the rest of the song I don't think had this issue with melody lines. I think our leading tones always took us right to a strong resolution. And the chord progression I don't think changes much throughout the song, at least not in the sections I was really paying attention to that on. So it's interesting that they retain sort of this bright, upbeat sort of chord progression, and then they still interject these little elements of dissonance and tension there at the end in the vocals. I'm not really sure what that means within the song itself, the lyrics, the story that they're telling, but it stands out as just this minor section that doesn't fit the rest, and I'm really hoping that there's a purpose for it. I mean, it's so purposefully done. There's so much intention to it, especially since the vocals are the only thing remaining at the end. It's very clear when he hits that note, and it always just seems wrong compared to what's been brought before it. So I don't know what the story is in this song, and if maybe there is some issue, maybe something hasn't been resolved by the end of it, and it's being portrayed there in the music. But those are my thoughts on DRØM's Siste Steget. I can't remember this. I can't remember the pronunciation to that second word. Anyways, you know what the song title is. It's in the title of this video. I'm not gonna butcher it if I even said it well at the beginning. But those are my thoughts on this track. This is where you guys come in. Now hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed it or not. Anything that stuck out to you, and if you have any insight into the lyrics or possibly the lyrical themes. Let me know, because like I said, that note in the final vocal melody, it's confusing me a bit. I'd like to know why they chose that one specifically. When you're done commenting, you can head up to the description box. There's a Linktree link in there for links for everything adjacent to the channel, whether you want to support it or join communities, follow me on Twitter, all that stuff's in there. You can also like, subscribe, and ring the bell right above that. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, with another reaction. It'll be special selections. We're moving into the weekend now. We are moving into the weekend now. All right, so we're also going to have a video today, a bonus video for Pride Month coming on in about 10 minutes, I guess, by the time this video is over. All right, so until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.